Welcome, y'all. This is a Shared Perspective podcast. I'm your host, Frankie Lubin. I'm here with a special guest, one of my closest friends, if not the closest friend I have on this earth. You probably know where all the bodies are buried. It's a joke.
Maybe not.
But I'm here with my boy, Dean Holder. He's
Yeah.
a car enthusiast, man, ladies' man. My brethren from another island. He from Barbados. I'm from St. Lucia. I'm here with my boy Dean Holder, man. What's going on?
Not much, man.
Thank you for being here, man.
Appreciate you having me, man.
Yes, sir. All right. Let's get straight to it, man. So, who is Dean Holder? How would you describe yourself to the people that's watching?
That's a big question. Who am I? I don't know. I mean, to me, of course, everybody feels normal to themselves.
Yeah, but when you get asked who are you, it's hard to sometimes be like, and who am I? You be like, damn, you searching for the answers low key.
Yeah, well, I don't think I've ever been asked that. Just like that. You know, people get their ideas of who you are based on what they see, pieces of you they see, but
Yeah,
I don't know if I've ever been asked who I am, like to other people. I don't.
yeah.
That's. Hmm.
You want me to go first? I could tell you who you are to me.
Yeah. Well, let me see what you say.
All right, so to me, you are somebody that shit always got not just my back, a lot of people's back. You know what I'm saying? And knowing you personally is it's a I could say that a lot of times you don't get that in return. You know what I'm saying? So for me, somebody that always has everybody else's back, always have everybody else's best interest at heart, a problem solver, you know, a go getter, hustler, um, shit. Somebody that generally call a brother, even though we ain't technically brothers. You know what I'm
Yeah, so
saying?
true.
Like,
It's always been that way over 10 years now.
yeah.
Nah,
It's been about more than
but
about
more than 10.
15.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we didn't grow up together. I met you at like 20,
Mm-hmm.
20, like 19, 20 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been locked in ever since. Yeah. That's who you are to me. It's
Guess I'll
like,
say this. I would say the same.
who are you to you? You know what I'm saying? Like, how would you describe yourself if you was going for a job interview? Like, how would you describe yourself?
I mean, a decent person that don't really have no space for bullshit, but will help anybody with whatever they need.
Got you.
I'm pretty
Got
simple.
you.
You know what I mean?
Got you.
You know, I don't think I'm a complicated person. Like, keep the rah rah to the minimum. I
Yeah.
mean, if you need help, I'm down to help you.
Yeah.
Get wherever you're going, do whatever you need doing,
Yeah.
and that's it. I just want to be around them. Excuse me, them same people and have fun while we do it. You know?
It's a pain in the ass to find people like that though. Find people like yourself.
Well, I think I became that person because I didn't have it.
True.
You know what I mean?
You became the dependable person that people could depend on. But who looks out for the person that always look out for everybody else?
I'm growing to realize that may not come for you.
Yeah.
You know, you may just be that person, but it may not be where somebody will come for you. Because sometimes you do this helping thing for so long, you don't even know how to take it.
Yeah.
When you do meet somebody else like that, you know, at some point it kind of becomes your identity to be the person people can lean on, but not one that can do the leaning.
I look at it as this there's very few times where it's like more than one superhero in the movie. I know now they put a bunch of superheroes in the same movie, but
Mm.
a lot of times you got one superhero in a movie that save everybody, and he ain't too many people coming to save him. Type, you know what I'm saying? Like he's always going against the grain to save everybody else. But
Yeah.
it's very, you might have somebody a love interest or something that might be in his, close. You know, like, oh
They
yeah,
usually get them fucked up though.
yeah, exactly. Get him in more shit. Like, all right. So I know you always claim Barbados, always like
Mm.
you know. but I knew you wasn't born there. You were born up here.
Mm.
How was it like growing up with two parents that's from Barbados?
Well, it's still kind of different because my mother spent most of her time here. So I
Okay.
would say her side was more the American side,
Yeah.
and my father more of the true to nature
Yeah, when your
Bayesian
father
side.
talk, I can hardly understand what he be saying. Boy, he be talking
Well,
straight Bayesian.
yeah. I don't even most times I don't. I think it's just a feeling. I don't really understand either. We just say, but we just. But I notice more of myself more and more. I speak like him as I get older.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So people always telling me to speak up or whatever. They just talk very fast.
yeah,
So in every word is like syllables, just pieces of a word to form a sentence. You know,
got
just you got to get the vibe based on what he talking about.
you. Yeah,
You may not
yeah,
get all the words,
yeah,
but no, I mean, of course, like the average immigrant household is very, I would say strict, but in a weird way, not. We had a very different way of being growing up, where like there were rules implied, but I don't ever remember especially my mother, like telling me you can't do this and you can't do that.
yeah.
Like things was kind of open, you know. It was more so like be decent, and then I won't have to come for you,
Got you.
type of deal. So
Yeah,
teach you how to be a decent person, and if you don't mess this up, I ain't really gonna bother you.
yeah,
So like we had the house that all the kids then was in, you know, after school or whatever.
yeah.
Because my mom she worked in Alpharetta and had to come home to Jonesboro every night. So you know what I'm saying? By the time we got
That's a
the bus at
long
3 o'clock
drive.
every
Yeah,
day, 80 miles a day, every
yeah,
day. So from 3 or whatever time we get up till 6, 7, we in the house by ourselves. So
yeah,
like, but nothing ever crazy went on because I would never let nobody mess this up for me. Like, you
yeah.
know, so as soon as something get weird in here, you gotta go.
You gotta go. Yeah.
My mom always used to call me the police because like, bro, as soon as I feel like you about to screw up my vibe or what I got going on, you know, here with the family, you gotta
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, that's I think I get the similar thing. I won't say the police, but they call me the principal. Like,
Yeah, same, but basically same
they be
vibes.
like, yo,
Yeah,
this nigga here, you can't have no fun. Yeah, nigga, like tighten
but
up. Like
we can, but like you know what's gonna happen if you do that, right? You know what I mean?
facts, facts.
We see farther ahead, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? And a lot of
we see the bullshit gonna happen. Like,
yeah, I
don't do that.
don't
They be
yeah
like,
exactly.
why? Man, we gonna. I'm just
I'm
telling you,
telling
don't
you,
do
don't do it. And
that.
then most times people go and do it, and then it
Yeah,
happens just like I said. You know, I'm not no I told you so type of guy, but
it is what it is, man.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it was cool growing up. I mean, of course, you had your issues with your parents and stuff like that, like differences of opinion. Then as you get older, you kind of surpass. You may surpass certain areas of what your parents did growing up, as far as like sight and knowledge of
Yeah.
certain things. So there's always
That's
been
natural. That's
that. Yeah,
natural. I
that's
think that's a
normal.
natural evolution of man and how it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? Because
Mhm.
the old people die for a reason. Not to stop them with the move, but
No, no,
they die
yeah,
off for a reason.
yeah.
So the young, you
Evolve,
know what I'm saying,
come up and evolve.
could evolve as they go by. But I think it's a definitely a difference in opinion, strong opinions
Strong,
from
strong, strong.
the old school versus the new school. Man,
Yeah,
they don't be playing. They be like y'all too soft. Y'all going through all this. Y'all too soft. We
yeah.
just sucked it up. I'm like, nah,
Nah.
like, ain't no way we trying. That's not how we trying to move.
It's
Like,
not going down like that. It has to
yeah,
be a balance to it because there's sometimes
exactly.
where you got to have grit like they did, and there's sometimes where you got to talk about your feelings
Yeah,
or feel your feels.
yeah. I
So
think it's a healthy balance of both of them, both worlds.
it could be, but I think most of our generation right now is really on the feel side and
Yeah,
less on the I got to do some shit side. You know what I mean? So
true,
like
true.
we knew you got to overcorrect one way and then it's supposed to come back. You know,
Yeah,
so hopefully the generation behind them that'll be a nice balance.
yeah.
You know, you may be crying, but you still sometimes you still have to get up and do the thing. Or
I
go,
might cry and
or
still whoop
still
your
get up.
ass
Okay,
while I'm crying.
exactly. So like,
Like,
feeling your feels doesn't negate
I'm like, damn,
doing
you
the
making
thing.
me do this, man.
Yeah,
Why you got me out here
exactly,
fighting and shit? Like, but
exactly.
you know what I'm saying? That's just me. Like,
You still got to. You can't be one or the other. It can't be no feelings and all work, and
yeah.
then all feelings and no work. That's
Cause
not
you gonna run into that wall regardless of what you do. You gonna run into the wall.
exactly. Some different things need different types of you. So I think my goal as a person has always been how best to move through life. Like I kind of see life as you're walking through life. Like not just like I feel like some people think that life is coming at them,
Yeah,
and then they got to be boxing life. But I think you're supposed to be running to like you're going. You're actually moving.
Yeah.
So then you can dodge and you can hit and
Yeah.
you could be on kind of an offensive thing instead of
Yeah.
a defensive thing, just waiting for
Yeah.
something to hit you. Because then you don't know where you're walking, you don't know what's gonna come to you, or But I think that's the key that all of my real friends, that's the key is that we've all walked through life. We don't just stand there and let life come
Yeah.
and just
Just throw whatever at you, just doing it,
no.
just taking that shit. Like,
Everything we wanted to do in our own respective fields, we've gone out and done that.
yeah,
Like Sasha said the other day, I like that we do life. We don't let life do us.
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And that don't always work out. I ain't saying that I'm gonna get my ass kicked all
Yeah.
the time, but
Yeah.
at least it's on my terms.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It ain't just be sitting somewhere like, oh man, I wish things would work out.
Nah.
That shit ain't gonna happen.
We gonna figure out how to make it work out.
Exactly. Yeah, it's gonna work out because of this, and this.
Yeah.
But that's it. I'm gonna get up and try something.
I think honestly, with you saying that, it's like a comfort to let life come at you versus going towards it. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you are an entrepreneur, you own your own business. I'm an entrepreneur, I own my business, and that shit is not for the faint of heart. Like,
No.
because you really every day have to create the life you want. Like every day you have to move with intention. Like versus somebody that's working and they telling somebody, hey, you just do this, log in here, clock in, boom, and it's like, yeah, that sounds great. Some days I'll be wanting that. Some days I'm like, damn, I don't want to figure out what to do today. Let me clock in somewhere. You know what I'm saying? But it's like when I'm there, I'm like, I feel trapped. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like you feel a little trapped in that sense. So.
And you kind of are because your dreams can't flourish within the scope of what the work is.
Yeah.
So like when you have the job, I mean, and this is no offense to anybody who got a job, but there's a lot that they take away from you in order to give. That's the trade for you for your paycheck.
Yeah.
You take away the potential of something, the
Yeah.
potential of whatever else you want to do, because of the time you have to give me this check.
It comes with a peace of mind to know
It does.
that check coming in.
Yeah. I mean, trust me, bro. Like right now, I would love to be okay with having a job.
Yeah.
But that goes to the point that I think now, as I get older, entrepreneurship, you have to be a little crazy. Like a little screws got to be a little loose to make that make sense.
Man, I said this to my wife the other day. I said this to Charlotte. I told her, I was like, I don't know if I'm crazy. I have crazy belief in myself, or I'm just fucking crazy. Like I don't know. There's a thin line between the two.
But it's got to be some sort of crazy in there. But if you lay out what entrepreneurship, getting up, not knowing what's gonna go on today, but you know you got to pay bills or you trying to grow a business or whatever. The next day is literally unplanned. It could be you could not make no money. And there's been plenty of times where we ain't made no money. Yeah. But you to get up out your bed, put your clothes on, and go outside, not knowing what's gonna happen tomorrow, is a crazy amount of faith.
Yeah.
Because you literally don't know what's gonna happen. You might not get no calls. 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Then what? You know what I mean? And that's
you stay trying to figure it out.
You
stay trying to find new ways, new opportunities to be able to grow.
But I think over time, it's only really hard, like people are scared of at first. But as you fail and as you build, even if you don't build to the point where you have everything you want, it's kind of like you fail. It's like you fail down, step up, fail, but here again, like you don't ever go back down here.
Yeah.
So the failures really don't be that crazy. The more you fail, the more you keep getting to where you need to get to. But it doesn't, like nowadays, it doesn't feel that crazy because I know sooner or later somebody gonna call or something's gonna pop off or something's gonna go on.
Yeah.
It might have been really painful like 10 years ago where it was like, bro, I don't have no motion at all. Nobody knows who I am. That's the crazy part. Yeah. When you got a fresh business and nobody know you. But over time, you build these connections from all the little things you do. Something gonna come in.
You get a random call on Sunday night. You were like, "Oh yeah, I could do that."
Yeah, like, I remember you from 5 years ago. My cousin gave me your number. Blah. Yeah. I'm like, bro, I don't even know who he was. Yeah. But I'm gonna come pick you up or grab your car, do something. You know what I mean? So like that happens more often. That's why I say you got to stay in the game because there's gonna be times where it's time for you to shoot. But if you was on the bleachers when nobody beat it, who they gonna pass the ball to? You have to be in the game. That's the hard part. It's like it's ugly right now. It's been ugly, but I have to stay in.
Yeah.
That's the craziest part.
I remember calling you one time. It was around Christmas, man. I was struggling. had a couple failures. I'm like, bro, I don't know if I can do this, man. I'm about to go work for the government. And he was like, nigga, don't you think about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's good to have people you could call and say, don't do XYZ. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, just stay the course. Like, stay motivated, stay doing what you're doing, because the next opportunity could always change your life. The next opportunity could, tenfold what you're doing now. So
Yeah, I mean, and the only reason I told you that is because I know exactly where you were at with it. Like, and that was your first big like a desert moment where I'm in the desert. I'm trying to get to some water and I don't know where I'm at. But I may have made it to like my first little oasis.
yeah,
But I've been in the desert before. So like I know what that feels like to really give up. And I have done it before, gone back to work and then come back out here again.
yeah,
And, you know what I mean? So like I know just by nature who you are in your business that you're gonna get to your first oasis quick.
yeah.
You if you stop now, you'll never get there. You're just gonna be in the desert.
True, true that.
So that is like, now I wouldn't have said that for anybody. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like some people that, yeah, boss, you need to wrap it up because you ain't gonna make it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? But I know if your heart is pure, your work is good, your ethic is strong, and you're reliable, like you
yeah,
are. Yeah, just it ain't even about you. It's about just waiting for the people to know who you are,
yeah.
and that's the rest is gonna work itself out.
I got you. I got you. Cool, cool, cool. We're gonna shift gears a little bit, man.
All right.
Since you grew up in you know, two parents on the island, one that kind of grew up here, the other one straight off I don't say the boat, but that's kind of the almost the dynamic my wife and myself have. What are some things that you saw in your parents' marriage that maybe you want to transfer or don't want to transfer into your, if you ever do get married? I know you're single, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, because me getting married and not married, that's a whole nother episode.
we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that.
uh, I would say, and this is common. This is not just like from my parents. I think that's that generation. What they didn't get from their parents, they emotionally they didn't know how to give that to each other. Now in a marriage,
Yeah,
so I feel like as our parents grew up with us and they started dealing more with feelings, they started to realize what they lacked, what they didn't get from the partner.
yeah,
So you know, what I mean that kind of sucks to see because now you don't have the capabilities to give what you want, but you didn't want that when y'all first came together.
yeah,
So you know what I mean? I see some, sometimes this is sort of like sadness behind that. But as non-emotional as my father is, he is somebody who's gonna get up and go to work and take care of his business and his kids.
yeah,
I mean, like that. So I had to kind of, I didn't like that growing up because he was a truck driver. So it's not like I was around. I didn't get to. I always thought he was like the coolest person on the planet,
yeah,
but I didn't get to be with him. I didn't get to do like me and him are both car people, but we didn't get to do the car stuff together
yeah,
because he on the road and when he come home he tired. So my mom had to pick up a lot of that slack. But so I wanted that more from him. But then as I got older, I realized I, how important it was that he was just a solid father figure. Teaching me about mechanics or
yeah,
how to drive, or he taught me how to be a man without ever telling me anything. You just kind of pay attention. He's like the quintessential man's man. He's
yeah,
not really the easiest to get along with, but he'll help anybody with anything, even if he's mad at you, whatever the case may be. He's the guy you call. He's gonna come drop everything, take care. But I wish he would have showed. You could show more understanding to what a woman was.
yeah,
But that's just common in that generation.
yeah,
Men they didn't have to. You know what I mean? So, but that's I sometimes say I feel like it made me like kind of a monster of a person because I get to know his deficiencies in what women didn't get from him, and then what they like in him, which a lot of both those qualities I have cultivated in myself.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So you get the guy who's gonna work, fix your car, fix this, got a guy for everything,
yeah.
but still will have this emotional conversation with you, or just or do whatever you need to do to connect with you emotionally.
It's funny. It's funny you said monster of a person, right? Because that's not to piggyback back off the shit we said earlier, but that's really it, bro. Like each generation, like, and we're not gonna always actively tell our kids sometimes we don't overly talk as men. Like we kind of just reserve. But I think you growing up, me growing up, having a father figure, like we watch, we
Yeah,
watch what they do more than what they say. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
pay
Like
attention.
we ain't, especially when you're a teenager, you're not even paying attention to what they talking about. You're like,
Yeah.
man, I don't want to hear that. But you watch them
Mm.
grow and do certain things, and you're like, oh, okay, like. And then when you start growing up, now you start hitting certain pivotal moments in your life. You like, oh, okay, I understand what he
Wow.
was doing.
Hmm.
Now you try to like connect the two.
Yeah, yeah,
That could also work in the trauma sense where you know what I'm saying, like you have a trauma of an example, like a lot of trauma, example father or mother, whatever, and then now you're trying to that should create a monster on that side too. You know what I'm saying?
for
Some
sure.
people will be like, man, that's how my mama was. I'm gonna be 10 times, because you're like, oh, that shit kind of worked for her.
Hmm.
So you gonna go
Yeah.
go right to that, you know what I'm saying? So both those things could work both ways a lot of times. And I was talking to somebody, my previous guest, and they were talking about a lot about programming.
Oh yeah.
So a lot of stuff that you don't really realize you taking in and consciously like actively doing yourself. But
I think I did though. Like I think probably like when I like my mid teens, I started to realize what just like it's programming, but like what could be. And I ain't no computer person, but like certain part chips or software that I wanted to remove,
yeah,
I would just say I'm not doing that
yeah,
and install my own
something new,
piece.
yeah,
Like I actively know what I like about my father and don't like.
yeah,
The good qualities and keep the good qualities and take away, try and take away.
yeah,
It don't always work out, you know. What I mean the best way. I mean on my mother's side too, and try to install the best software with my upbringing.
got you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can only feel for the people that didn't have that example of a father or a mother to be like, let me, I'm learning them, and your parents are also human, so you kind of learning how they move and stuff, and then be like, oh, let me take away that. Somebody that doesn't have that example is like, just the world is your oyster. You can kind of just make the life you want, but sometimes you get caught up in,
That's the
you
problem.
know,
Is well, I mean, we always gonna find someone, some kind of identity to
to
cling
latch
to grow
on.
to lead. You
Yeah,
have to like
yeah,
the human won't know self without an identity for
yeah,
the most part, unless you like transcend it into
yeah.
something. We ain't it. So the problem is, even if you do have two parents, it could be a bad identity you attaching yourself.
True.
But if you're not self aware enough to know that you yourself don't have to be that and don't want that, then you might end up just like them, like just a younger version of that same cycle perpetuated. And that
Yeah,
happens all the time.
yeah,
Just having two parents don't make doesn't mean you're gonna have a good upbringing.
yeah,
You know what I mean? I think it just really, well, at this point, I think it's luck almost. You know what I mean? Like, because now you meet people our age, and everybody that had something go on with them, some craziness
yeah,
in the background growing up, some stuff that I can never in a million years imagine happening to me.
yeah.
So I'm more thankful for that more than I didn't get to hang out with my dad and we weren't as close growing up. I just didn't get to see none of that.
See, that's why I've created this podcast to be able to gain perspectives from people that had both parents and don't have, or just different perspectives. Because everybody got a story, bro. So when you break somebody's story down, a lot of times you realize, like, damn, like you had it like that. You start realizing your problems ain't even really that deep. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times compared to somebody else,
Well,
but
problems is all relative. I mean,
it's
but like problems, it don't really matter what it is. The person in a $1 million house and their butler didn't come into work, they feel for that problem the same as you
yeah,
dropping your Popeyes on the ground on the way in the house after you
yeah,
done worked all day. Like
yeah.
I feel like it's hard to compare because they all problems feel relatively painful where you at.
At the time it happens and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And your circumstance, your lifestyle, your upbringing. So all problems feel like pain to the brain. I feel like the same way.
But I think once at a certain point when you solve that problem, and then now you not I don't say compare, but like you hear somebody else's, like, okay, we all grew up as kids. We're not kids no more. So when
Mhm.
you hear how somebody else grew up versus how you grew up, you're
Yeah,
like,
you be
oh,
like
okay, like
shit.
damn, like I ain't have it that bad. You feel me? Like so
Yeah,
now you kind of making sense of the two. Like, Okay, I didn't have it that bad, but I still have these things to work on. How do I connect them and make the life that I want and shape the life that I want in a sense? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, true. Well, I mean, a lot of that comes from once you figure out what you like and then like, you still are your parents and yourself. There's still a part that is your personality.
Yeah.
So no matter what happened to you, if you don't have what you want or you're not where you want to be, you still then have to make the choice that no matter what happened here, I still got to go do X Y Z thing. My
Yeah.
parents wasn't rich. My parent wasn't this. Blah blah blah. End of the day, that don't move you no further ahead to your goals.
Yeah.
So you still got to take that, put that into who you are, understand your limitations, and the better part of that, how are you going to become because of this upbringing,
Yeah.
and then move on, go on about your business.
Yeah. That's the key. But there's a lot of people that don't care. Like I know you care. I know I care. But there's a lot of people that just move in based on how they how they see the world one, but just navigating in a place where it's like they're on cruise control almost. Like they in a Tesla and it's like, yeah, just take me to my destination. It's like that Tesla might crash. You feel me? Like
Yeah, I mean, it's going to crash, or it's going to take you to another state. You didn't even want to be
yeah,
there.
it's like you living everything in the hands of this, like you said, life. Like you just hey, like just take me wherever. It's like that's not a place of I don't think anybody really want to be. Because you hear it when they talk sometimes. You hear the hints that they throw, they be like, oh, I don't, or they might blame everything on somebody else. It's like, nah, this shit, everything your fault, my nigga. Like everything is your
Yeah.
fault.
But
You know?
until they that the problem is that a lot of times I see it in human nature is it really is that simple. But we as humans, especially nowadays, have to make it complicated to then take off, absolve ourselves of fault.
Yeah.
If I make it complicated and there's all these different things, then it couldn't be me that just am lazy or
Yeah.
I ain't strong enough to do it. But it's really that simple.
Yeah.
And people will do. I've noticed, man. People will go to the ends for it not to be their fault.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's another factor about you and the people I call my brothers is they would just say it's my fault about something, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't really care what it is, but if a man can say that, that means I know I could trust him.
Yeah.
Because if it's never his fault, there's gonna be a time where it's time to throw me under the bus, and he gonna do so, and
Yeah.
it's not gonna be his fault.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So if he throw me under the bus, I want him to at least look at me and tell me, yeah, man, that was
Yeah.
me. I did that. I can respect it.
Most people gonna throw you under the bus when you ain't looking.
And that's it, maybe he do the thing, but he is still man to man. Like, yo, hey, all right, I can take that.
Yeah.
Better than I could just be like, nah, well, I just had to.
Yeah.
Can't live with no man like that.
I got you. I got you.
Yeah, that's key.
All right, we're gonna shift gears again. So I'm not single. I've been married for 2 years, been in a relationship for about 5. Um, most people say that's kind of fast, but what is it like now being on the dating scene? Especially you live in Atlanta. What is that like? Because I know it looks one way, but reality and online is two different things. So what does that look like for you? How would you describe How would you describe that?
Um, I don't think I've ever had a problem like dating per se. Like if I just wanted to date people in Atlanta, that's an easy place to just deal with people in and out, in and out, in and
Yeah,
out type of thing. But I mean, the topics we discuss here, that's kind of who we are. That's kind of where our mind sits normally.
yeah,
So like that level of depth, I usually don't find too much in the opposite sex here, or I haven't
yeah.
here. You know what I mean? Like, but I know that's just not an Atlanta thing. That's just
Everywhere.
that's everywhere. That's everywhere. You know what I mean? I've dated people from all over the world. So like I've always known that me being the weird person I am, it's gonna take another weird person to for this to work out. So I don't really put nothing on Atlanta people or women or whatever. Um, as far as like, oh well, they ain't shit here or blah blah blah. You know what I mean?
So do you think I have this theory that people are just bad at people are bad at picking people for themselves. Like
Oh, you mean just like
yeah, like
knowing they have no intention to be with this person, but
not
taking the
not only just not intention is like you just how would I put it? You just bad at picking people. Like You're bad at
Oh,
picking
okay, okay, yeah,
friends. You might be bad at picking the person you lay with. You might just
yeah,
be bad at that shit, bro.
no, 100%.
You know
But
what I'm
because
saying? Like you're not thinking. You might think of one aspect of it. Oh, I just like this, and then you see you get that.
yeah, it's real base level. But
Yeah,
what I would say to that is how they do that is how, if you look in their life, they do most things. The level of depth they use to, the level of self awareness they have for themselves, accountability they have for themselves, and how else they see the world, their worldview
yeah,
is going to shape who they choose. It to me, I mean, and I think even growing up with cars, my other hobby was just like studying people. So, like even as a kid, like young kid, I would just pay attention to people, like, and what their actions would lead to certain things.
yeah,
Because my biggest fear, I think, growing up was becoming successful and then losing it all. So I would always pay attention to these different things, and if somebody lost it or however, like I would you know take note because I don't want that to happen.
yeah.
But with that has come, I mean, it's not 100%, but like I can pretty much tell who a person is when I meet them,
Yeah.
like within 20 minutes out, whatever. The first interaction with them, I can kind of get the vibe.
Yeah.
And every time I've gone against that, I've gotten fucked. But so I mean that just further proves that it works.
Yeah.
But I don't think most people, especially women, I don't think they were taught in this day and age how to look for what are the qualifications for a good man, and then who do you need to be supposed to attract that type of person.
Okay.
Because I do believe there are a good many good men out there. I mean, of course, with social media, it always sensationalizes the worst
Yeah, the worst
of
of the worst.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm not the type of person that believes that all women are this and every gold digger is this and blah blah blah. Like, no, that's just what get views and clicks and likes and all that type of stuff. Because to the human mind, good is boring
Yeah.
and safe. So like it craves seeing all this craziness, but that's not reality.
Yeah.
But yeah, I see women that they meet men and or they meet what they call meeting your the associate, the guy give off the certain vibe. But then when I meet the guy that they said did them this way and that, I could tell within like minutes, like you had a kid with this dude, or you I could tell you everything about him right now.
Yeah.
It's plain as day.
Yeah.
But like they weren't taught. I think and not in a. I don't want to bring up the negative part of like the older days, 50s, 60s, 70s, even just in the black culture. But like you would see it, like even my mom would talk. My parents are older, so my dad's 75, my mom is 64.
Yeah.
So they did. She would talk about what it was like to get yourself a certain way to attract a certain man. Like,
Yeah.
but there was even a thought that I want to do something to attract a man. Nowadays, I find it's more the woman moves to you as if she's the gift to you. Like there isn't much there isn't much vetting me. More
Yeah.
so it's like she allowing me to be the opportunity to be with her or whatever that
Yeah.
might be. And that's not what I would never be with anybody. Like I wouldn't get that at the time of day, but
I think what happened in the cross in the previous generations, these kids grew up in households. These kids now, adult women our age, 30s,
without father.
40s, you know what I'm saying? Like they not only didn't grow up without a father, it's like they may have seen unhappy marriages where, like you
Hmm.
said earlier, the
Hmm.
communication wasn't really,
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Like one person go out all day, the other person there at home. You know, that dynamic is kind of like it
It's
threw them
different.
off. Like it looked like unhappiness to them.
No,
So
for sure.
now it's like, nah, I'm gonna
I'm not doing
find
that.
my happiness. You know what I'm saying? Like they gonna search for what makes them happy and go against the grain in that sense. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's in the midst of where we are now. Like people are people are doing for them, not so much for everything else, everybody else.
No, I
Like
get that, but I think we're going to see. Excuse me. I think we're going to see like a not like a dark age because of this overcorrection, but like at the end of the day, no matter what, and this goes man and women, like we still crave the right partner. Like no matter you climb Mount Everest, you get $1 million, whatever. When you go lay down at night, you still yearn for the right woman, your
yeah,
dream woman, your dream man. So, woman can say, I'm just doing me right now and all this. And you can do all of those things, but sooner or later you're going to crave that companionship, not from any man, but from that right man for
Yeah.
you, and vice versa for women. There's so many people out here that you can tell they've settled for somebody. You can tell in the way they talk about them.
Yeah.
And I always chose the route of I would rather be alone and the person that's right for me come versus me just hurry up and grab whatever is around or available.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think women are better at that than men because if they don't get usually what I see is if they don't get their quote unquote first pick or whatever like that, then they're gonna settle for the next up, but they'll never really treat him like they would that guy that should be thinking about him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This other guy might do all the things, but he don't do it like him. You know what I mean? So, but that doesn't mean that first guy was a good dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's why I always stress the women to like pay attention to who you're dealing with because these men will leave an imprint on you, like that you can't get rid of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why I've tried this. It's like I don't mind talking to different people and stuff like this, but the casual part of it always kind of killed me in a way because I would feel gross after.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's still like feelings and emotions and souls that we mixing up, only to never. I knew before we did this that we didn't like each other like that.
Yeah.
But so now I gotta sit with the fact that what if she liked you or she thought about it and she didn't want to, she wanted to do something and now you already felt like how you felt for her.
Yeah.
It's another like rock in her baggage.
I got you.
You know what I mean? So I try to move lightly on that type of stuff. Like, stuff with women is serious.
Yeah.
Just like I know when she coming to me, I'm a representative of me and men.
Yeah.
So because if shit don't work out here, it's not going to be just Dean. It was men
Man,
or
yeah.
ain't shit. So you know what I mean. So I try to keep that in mind when I'm dealing with the opposite.
Yeah, I think for for us as men, when we hear guys doing certain things or they did this or you like, man, ain't no way somebody did that. You know what I'm saying? You're looking at it like, ain't no way dude did
like,
that to you. You know what I'm
because
saying?
you would never.
You as a man would never do that. You know what I'm saying? But like I always say, the men and women, like we don't date men, so we don't know what men would do to men. And women don't date women, so they don't know what women would do to men. You feel me? Like it's a different dynamic. I mean, now everybody date everybody, but
No, they don't.
I'm
No,
I'm just saying everybody, everybody doing their little thing, whatever. Like, but I'm just saying, like, it's really like if I hear a woman went through an experience with a man, I'm like, damn, I would never do that. So I'm not even pitching. That's why a lot of times we come into these dudes' defense saying, nah, dudes ain't like that. When actuality, they're dudes that do shit like that. And vice versa. Women that do crazy shit to men that you be like, what? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and the women over here defending the women, it's like, oh, she did this because of that. You know what I'm saying? That kind of dynamic. Like,
But to that point, I think that goes back to the sensationalized groups of shitty men and shitty women. I think that social society has programmed us. A lot of people like if you don't have your own identity and self worth of what you're going to accept and not accept, you will naturally gravitate towards the crazy shit because that's all that will make sense. Just like we were saying, the Tesla gonna take you wherever.
yeah,
If you don't know where you stand as far as what you want out of a woman or a man or whatever, and what you bring to that, then you can be susceptible to dealing with the shitty person, the shitty guy, the shitty this, the shitty that, because you don't have no handbook to stand up.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like people tell me I'm hell on women all the time, and I don't think I'm not in a way where I'm ever getting into the with them, but just my standards for allowing them in is high because I know what will lead if I let this ride, what that's gonna lead to
yeah,
more often than not. So I have my own like handbook in my mind, like nah, the way you moved is not really. I can't really
yeah,
deal with that. No disrespect to you. I mean, you're still a cool person, but I wouldn't pursue that further than the little friendship or whatever we got going on here.
yeah.
I can't. You can't just let anybody into your world like that because people take your energy. They may not replenish it.
Some people are just good for a day. Just one day you
Maybe.
spend with them, you're like, man, this ain't it. But it was cool while it lasted. One day, one night. You know, that's
I don't even like to do that no more. I'd be upset that I wasted the day. You know what I mean? I like to meet people because when I meet people we on the same wavelength, it's like that.
yeah.
So if it's not like that, like I could have been at the house.
But that come with age though. That come
Yeah,
with a
yeah,
little bit of
yeah, yeah.
age. You know
I'd
what I'm
rather be
saying?
in the house, bro. Like
Because when you in your 20s, you
you
young,
just
they be like, man, bring everybody my way. What's good?
and don't even know what kind of liability you set up with that. All these,
Yeah, when you 30, you like,
and that's why
damn, I
people
did with
got
all this shit.
15-year-olds right now because like you see, you wasn't paying attention. You know what I mean? You're just doing the most.
Facts, facts,
Yeah, you
facts,
gotta pay attention.
facts, man. Um, all right, we're gonna shift gears again. I know I keep saying shift gears because you're a real car dude. You own a towing company. You know what I'm saying? And we spoke about entrepreneurship earlier, but I don't want to talk about that no more. Let's talk about cars. Like, what's your all time favorite car?
I don't have one. I can't.
Like
That's an impossible question.
I know you know cars like the back of your hand, my boy. Like I like cars, but you have a different type of love for cars. Like I've never met anybody that's so passionate about cars. Like I go to three. I have three sources that I go to if I need to know something about cars. Myself, without the education level I have on cars, Google, and then you.
Hmm.
And I'm not saying I might use these in the same order. I might call you first, then sometimes I go to Google after, and then sometimes I use my knowledge.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But those are my three resources for cars. Like you like a encyclopedia about cars, and not just one specific car. Every car, I feel like. You know what
I
I'm
would
saying?
say
Like,
every, but I mean, because I mean that's what I from the time I was probably like 2 years old. I can't remember a time where I didn't just like incessantly think about cars.
okay.
So like that has been I don't know a life where 70, 80% of my day is random car thoughts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like from the time I was young, I used to get caught in school all the time with magazines. I mean, I still got notebooks at home where like I would pick a car model and just and build it how I want to build it. Every single part. I would do the engine, the suspension, transmission, all that stuff. Like
Yeah.
the magazine collection is still like crazy, just from years. I remember I used to back like early 2000s used to have my mom order VHS tapes from Japan and stuff like this. Is like 99, 2000. That's literally all I cared about. You know what I mean? So like I don't know nothing else.
Yeah.
So anybody can amass that amount of knowledge if that's all they think about. Mhm.
True. True.
Sometimes I think
I
it's a
don't.
blessing. Sometimes it's a curse.
You see, my brain works in all different areas. I'm over here. I'm over there. It's like there's so
Mhm.
much different shit going on
Mhm.
in my mind that I'm never locked in on one specific thing. Like to say that I love watches, like I know every single watch, or
Mhm.
like I don't have that thing. I'm just like I'm gonna learn as much as I can over here. I'm gonna learn as much as I can over here. I'm gonna try to connect the two to see what else I could learn over there.
Mhm.
Like, but that's just how my brain works. And as much as I've tried to go against that grain, like I just think I'll get disinterested after a while. I'm like, yeah,
Now you will, but like there's something to be said about having mastery in something. Like because that is a feeling that you can't get if you don't stay in that thing
yeah,
long enough. So like I also want to know a lot about a lot of stuff, but I get some sort of like you can get like a high from watching somebody master when they're doing something. You know they mastered this thing. I like to see that. You know
for
what I
me,
mean?
that's basketball.
Hmm.
That's probably the only thing that I could connect with, where
Hmm.
I'm like anything basketball, like
Yeah.
I'm there. Like I love the history of it. I love but even to your point, like to me, I still don't like the level of knowledge that you have for cars. Is like it's just it's not the same. But for me, that's basketball. I could watch it. I could sit
Hmm.
there. I can be like, yeah, and critique the game and all of that.
Hmm.
That's how much I love it. But for cars, like I got
Hmm.
basketball at a teenage age, so
Hmm.
maybe if
So
I had got it real young, it'll probably
yeah,
be different. But
because what did you do before between 2 and 15?
yeah, I was all over the place. Like, I remember one time I was trying to I had liked cars. And I was trying to build like this I don't know what the hell I was trying to build. I was trying to build this portable thing myself, like build a car myself
Mm.
out of cardboard. Like no
Mm.
lie. I was like,
No, I
yo,
can believe it.
put the little wheels. I had
Mm-hmm.
to took a motor from one of the race cars, and my grandma was like, "What the hell are you doing? Like
Figuring it out.
you can't take that on the road." I'm over here like, nah, I could
I'm
figure it
gonna
out.
figure it out.
You know, and that comes with, you know, I won't say people shutting down your dreams, but I wish she didn't say that to me.
Yeah,
You
no,
know what I'm
no.
saying?
You definitely need, and that's what I will say about my parents too is they never hindered my obsession.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like we made there's certain things that that we couldn't afford to do, but
yeah,
they never like, oh, this is weird, stop doing that, yada
yeah,
yada. Never. So like I give that to them. Like I'm allowed to be who I am. Like they helped me and still to this day, you know, gave me the space to do that. Working on a million cars in the garage and the driveway and all kind of stuff. Like that was never a problem.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So I appreciate them for that. But it's almost too like I didn't really get that much choice.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that is just I also am a person when I get something in my head there really ain't shit to slow it down.
Yeah,
You know?
I think for me when she said that, it kind of like hindered my obsession of it. It
No, yeah.
kind of just like, man, what? Like you start questioning the question they ask you, like, well, I'm not doing this shit.
Yeah,
Like, you
yeah,
know what I'm
those are
saying? Like,
formidable years, like
yeah,
to ask that. But I don't know if somebody would have said it to me back then, would I have stopped messing with cards? I can't tell you, but I just know like bro, like it really it's hard to explain how deep the thoughts of cars would be. Like I
yeah,
would just think of a car and think about doing certain things. And I might be going to the grocery. This I'm 7 years old,
yeah,
but I'm like, if I had this car, what roads I would drive it on, the people I would talk to, the conversations I would have next to the car.
yeah,
What would the car look like? How would it drive? Oh, this is all from a young age.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So like it got so deep that it just I feel like it just permeated all of my brain.
yeah. Because I watch you talk cars with people, and you would be like, he don't know what he talking about.
And I don't
Like
mean to
they'll
be like
come
that.
there, they'll say the those few, you know, like touching topics and shit. Like they'll try to engage in the conversation, and
Mm.
you're like, yeah, you don't know what he's talking about. Like, and that's one thing I never did with you because I'm like, I'm not gonna pretend to know shit that I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Or just have a few talking points on a car. Like I'm like, I don't know nothing about this car. Like
Well,
you tell
I
me what
appreciate that
you tell me what's going on with this shit. Like
because people, especially nowadays, they do it like I feel like it's a resurgence in all the things that I had to fight people for growing up.
yeah,
The being weird, got glasses on, the nerd shit, nerd out
yeah,
on cars and shit. Now it's cool to like show a girl you in the cars. You could just,
yeah,
but I know in meeting you how deep your knowledge goes,
yeah,
and it's not very many people. I mean, and there are some people I know even close to us that surpass me, but that's very rare. I don't. That's something I brag about, but like because it really is like a curse. Like you are tied to this thing that you spend so much time on that it's very hard to even go to something else.
yeah,
So when I meet the amount of time I put in, when I meet somebody that's faking it, I can't let you get away with that, boss. Because I was forced to put in years
yeah,
to learn all this shit and do all this stuff and still do all the things I want to do. So you can't just ride the wave of. Because then what they'll do is they'll get on IG or whatever and they'll try to create this persona. There's a couple people out there that I know, you know, that they try to create this persona in the Atlanta car scene, like they've been doing this and they know how to do these things. But when you hang out with them and meet them, you know they really don't know shit. They just know how to
yeah,
make it look like something.
yeah,
And I'll never really ride with that because I was the one in the driveway by myself figuring out how to do it or going on trips and stuff to buy car. I mean, I remember at 17, 18 years old, borrowing somebody's trailer, borrowing somebody's car, buying one car over here, taking that to Missouri. I ain't never told nothing with no car, no trailer. I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
yeah,
Going over here, trading this car, putting that car in the trailer. You know what I'm saying? Learning how to do all that stuff. Touring, which got me into touring,
yeah,
was the cars. So like people ain't put in them years of buying and selling and trading. I bought my first car at 11.
yeah,
So like I've been the art of the deal is something I learned from a young age. So
yeah,
like the people now they touting as the Atlanta's best car dealer or they flip this and they got that.
yeah.
But you just started this 2, 3, 4 years ago. You know what I
True.
mean? I've been there. So like the OGs, we all know who we are. The other people, we all know who they are too.
Yeah,
And that's it. You know what I mean? I really can't call them people friends.
got you. So like the what is the feeling you get when you know what I'm saying, driving, racing a car. Like I know that feeling I get is like it feels for me driving regular is like solid meditation. Like I'm like meditating, I'm thinking about other shit, what I'm gonna do in my day,
Mhm.
all of that. But when I'm like locked in, doing about 100, and shifting through gears and shit, like it's a different thought. It's like for me, it's like almost not. It's like realizing like how fast I'm going, but not thinking about the consequences of it at the same time. It's like like what is that feeling for you? Like
But it depends if we on the street, which you shouldn't be doing that. But
true,
you
This
know.
is where I've done it
I
the
mean, things
most.
things happen, You know what I mean? But no, driving is the only time, or driving quickly or fast or whatever, is the only time where I'm completely focused on one thing.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, I think because I've done it for so long, like to be a fast driver, it is. I equate it to either like dancing with women or like having sex. Like, and if you're good at those things, like it's not y'all not talking while y'all dancing, but you could feel when she's about to, her muscle might change this way, so you know her hip going this way, so she's about to move this way. Like
yeah,
how fast you can process that makes you a better dancer, and that's exactly the same when driving. It's more so listening to what the car's saying and being able to manipulate the car on this road on this day with this type of asphalt or
yeah,
concrete. Like how quickly can your mind process that? So to me, that's where I have the most fun because things are real quiet then, which is me listening to the car and making the necessary adjustments as quickly as possible.
mhm.
So like when you get it right, is I couldn't tell you how I just did that, or I couldn't do that again. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like that, put that on that same. I mean, and you get to the point like when I do race, there even on the team there will be like if I go out on track, we would say we're in like an endurance race. I'll go out and it'll probably take me 1 or 2 laps to get settled in the car, and then I'll hit that same lap time, like to the point five, the
yeah,
point six, over and over again, because I put the car at exactly the same point here, 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 here. Now, as you race, the tires may get greasier, the car handles weird, the brakes don't work as well,
yeah,
but you still got to know what you need to do in that moment to put the car here, 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 and here. So that's to me, that's when I'm at my most fluid. You know what I mean? Like, don't think about this or society or
yeah.
relationships or money or family. I'm just how to do it the best right now.
Got you.
So that's the only time I lock in.
Got you. Yeah, that's dope. That's dope, man. That's real dope. All right. So, in your opinion, how does the discipline and knowledge required in car racing translate into the discipline in your daily life? Like, how would you make that correlation?
I wouldn't say just racing, but the way cars are in general. I like how the car is when it what the qualifications to make a car run good, and what would happen if it didn't run good are pretty simple. It just comes down to care, maintenance, like preventative maintenance, using good products. So I mean, it translates directly to the body. You put in bad food. You consume bad content, all that type of stuff. In your mind, you don't run right.
Yeah,
And it's the same for a car. You can definitely tell when you're in your flow state of energy and focus,
yeah,
and all these things that comes from what you eat. I mean, I've seen like it could be direct, like how much water I drank that day, or what type of food I ate, or what herbs and supplements and stuff that I take. That directly affects my mood.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Which affects the decisions I make, which affects where I'm going in life.
yeah,
Same thing with the car. If you treat your body raggedy, it'll run bad. Same with the
yeah,
car. You don't take care of it, you run out of oil, you don't, let it overheat a bunch of times,
yeah.
you run bad. The exact same.
Shit too long, and motherfucker
Exactly.
don't want to start up and
It
shit.
don't run good when they start up. Yeah, yeah. Tires flat. Like
Yeah,
all of that is directly related to the people as a person.
that's what's up. That's what's up. So what? we talk about cars a lot, but like my last question on cars is like the innovation behind it. Like the electric cars and stuff like that. What do you think? I know when the self driving phase of cars now. Do you think that old cars would ever die out, and or do you think it will still be,
I think it'll still be a
a
thing.
healthy balance between the two?
I think it'll still be a thing at even more so. It'll get to be more of like a I don't say boutique experience, I guess, as we get into automating everything, which is crazy to me because I don't know. Humans have we have shown the world as far as movies and stuff years ago what would happen if you did that as far
Yeah,
as automate. The human body is designed to move.
yeah,
So I don't know why we're hell bent on making everything so easier,
yeah,
for ourselves. There's got to be a certain point, and that's probably why I've always liked older cars, is because they require more input from you
yeah,
when driving, to care for it, which in turn it offers you more character. Thing is, when you make something more technologically advanced, it loses its character.
yeah,
So part of why I like a certain car is how it handles or how it smells or how it drives or all these different things. A newer car, especially electric cars, can't give you that.
yeah,
But I think it's passing now because this generation grew up so much with the internet and phones that they didn't have to go outside and have that old car to fix and you got to get to school and so jalopy and all that stuff. Like kids now getting cars because they don't know how to fix them because
yeah,
they didn't have to go through that at a young age. They're getting cars that are like new,
yeah,
so they don't even know what good or bad or this or that feels like in a car.
yeah. Because our age group, I feel like, or even before, we was getting old shit, man. We was getting a hand me down,
Yeah,
second hand,
and
third hand, fourth
you
hand
had to fix
car.
that joint. Yeah, axle broke or whatever.
Yeah,
You got to
like
learn how to fix it, and
them
we ain't
kids
had nothing
now,
good too.
them kids now are like, nah,
Now they
we
getting
ain't.
cars with car payments already,
Yeah,
brand new 2017, whatever. You know what
yeah.
I mean?
I think that our generation is probably one of the golden years because
We got both.
we got both. We didn't get into all the technology, like you said,
Hmm.
YouTube. Like, bro, we didn't have that. We didn't have that into like 2008. Like,
But
we
you used
might
to
have
have
just been coming out, but
you had forum posts. Like if you had a problem with a car, you had to post on the forum and then wait for
yeah,
somebody who knew the answer to that. It might be days you got your car outside trying to figure it out, or just
yeah,
and the whole time you trying to figure it out,
yeah,
you may or may not. Sometimes you might wait a week before a man say, "Oh, I've been through that before. Do this, and this," and you go
yeah.
outside and do that. Now
Man,
you can make one post in that Facebook group for that car and a million people gonna hit you up, which I think is also a detriment because 75% of the replies are gonna be a bunch of bullshit or people who
yeah,
not even didn't even read what you're saying. But like when it comes to like the electric stuff, one I think that's more of a political thing than like an actual help for society.
got you.
As far as like a carbon footprint standpoint,
Yeah,
electric cars are worse.
yeah,
It's better for the environment to keep an old car running than it's to build a new
yeah.
electric
Because
car.
the what they say, the factories and the
And mining and stuff
the
like that.
plants to keep the or just the charging stations.
Yeah.
Those things take a lot of energy, which is
Another thing is that we
you know what I'm
don't
saying.
have
Like,
like in this country we don't have the electrical infrastructure to power all that.
yeah,
So like by 2030 they're saying all new cars must be electric.
yeah.
How is that possible when it's been proven that our power grids cannot
Oh,
sustain
withstand
that?
that. Yeah,
So is it really for us or is it really like a play for certain groups to win like any other political
yeah.
game? You know what I mean? So no, I'm not a huge fan of electrical cars.
Yeah,
Electric
you
cars.
can never too much believe what they tell you on with the political side of things because it's like there's war in the streets. There's war with the global side. There's a whole that's a whole nother story, man.
Yeah.
We ain't even gonna get into
Yeah,
that, but
but I
yeah,
mean, end of the day, the thing is they don't have our best interest in mind. So
no,
like everything that they're pushing on you, you always need to take it with a grain of salt
yeah,
because
they just fill in their pockets, man. They fighting in their pockets.
exactly.
Like my kids are taken care of.
Yeah,
That's how they
exactly,
moving. Like
exactly.
you know,
So no, I don't. I always have strayed towards the older cars
yeah,
because they have more something, more
yeah,
personality. You know what I mean? That's why, like, to your question of like, what's my favorite car? It's really hard to say. I mean, I have like cars that are up there that if I didn't own anything else, I would probably own these.
yeah,
But there's really no way for me to do that because just like having friends, like all my different friends give me a difference in who they are.
Yeah.
The same with a car. You know what I mean? Like there's just like there are personalities in people, a car is the exact same.
Yeah.
Because it's made by different designers with different intentions, designed in different ways to feel different, to move different.
You gonna have some people on there that's like, how you comparing a car to a human being and all that shit.
Well,
But
where did it come from?
yeah,
I mean, it
it came from a
it is
human being.
man-made.
It's
So
man-made.
it is
So
going to be in reflection
the person that
of a
created it.
person. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And you can see in certain, even just designs or looks, like that came from this guy. I could, you can get to certain types of cars, and I could look at that and say that was the era that this guy designed this car for,
Yeah.
or this guy designed these cars, for BMW or whatever.
Yeah.
So you get that design knowledge and feel in the car. So I don't
Yeah.
know why people would be that would be an upsetting thing for them to feel that.
Because most people are surface level thinkers, man. And
We not here for them.
that's
We,
sad. Like, we trying to open their mind. Hopefully, whoever mind is gonna open, we trying to open your mind to different perspectives, because it's not just about surface level thinking, So that's the goal with this podcast. But yeah, so all right, we're gonna switch it up and I'm gonna ask you, in moments of doubt of failure, like, what is something that keeps you motivated and keeps you pushing forward?
well, one of the biggest things I always want to do is retire my parents. Like seeing them work so hard to give me their life and the space to become who I become. I always felt like I owed it to them.
Yeah.
To get that back. And two, I simply ain't dead yet. So I mean, if I still get up and I have all the things I still have, all my faculties, I don't see how I could not keep going.
Yeah.
When people have way less than me and they going just as hard for themselves or harder. Like how could you dare do that? You know what I mean? When God give you certain gifts and certain luxuries to manifest His gift to the world.
Yeah.
That don't mean it ain't gonna come with no failure. So even during them times, like who are you to waste God's gift if you still here?
Yeah.
So that's what I always just tell myself that like who are you to waste that?
Yeah.
If everything still work, keep going. And I don't really feel like failure anymore because like I failed so many times so I've gone to zero so many times. So
Yeah.
you didn't die.
It don't feel like failure.
No, the failure really is like this crazy
It's
illusion we have.
It's a state of mind. Yeah.
We have to be having like that's the only time you really learn some shit that kind of sear into you like a cattle prod.
I think we get it from school, man.
Because
school make you feel like, oh, you failed the test, like, so you now be like, damn, I'm the worst of the class. Like, I was a terrible student. I was terrible.
Most entrepreneurs are, but you gotta first ask yourself, what is school designed to form you into?
Yeah,
and that's not to be an entrepreneur. That's not to go after your dreams.
You grow to learn those things as you go through life. But
not everybody. No, not everybody.
True. But I've grown to learn those things.
But we didn't know that we.
But as a kid, you don't know.
But even to have the balls to be like, I'm not good at school and I don't give a fuck what nobody think.
Yeah.
That ain't easy. Most people, that shit would have killed them. They would have been in that, studying hard as fuck.
Yeah.
Knowing they don't like this, or this don't matter to them. But in order to keep up with the herd of people, I got to be good at this test or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I personally, even from a young age, if I ain't fuck with it, I ain't fuck with it. I don't care who laugh at me because I don't fuck with it or whatever. I don't know where that comes from. But that has, to me, has been my like unfair advantage my whole life. It's like really, I mean, like, yes, I can't say, some people say, oh, you should never care what people think. That's bullshit. You're gonna get up, you're gonna be a certain way because you want to be accepted by people. Yeah. But when it comes to a certain threshold of like, nah, I don't care, and I'm not fucking with that, and I don't care if you think I should. You need to have that.
Yeah, you're not gonna go against your own morals. You know what I'm saying? Like, to be able to appease anybody, but like you said, we still care what people think. It's just I'm not gonna go against myself.
Yes,
to care about your opinion like that much. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but you gotta have that self. You gotta have that love for yourself. Because at the end of the day, like if you love yourself enough, you risk being alone. Like nobody could fuck with you for who you are.
Yeah.
You have to love yourself to the point where if that happens, I'm still gonna be okay. It's gonna suck, but it's gonna be okay. But what's crazy about that is when you have that level of love for yourself, people gravitate toward. They never leave.
Yeah.
Because they humans need to feel like if I were removed from his life, he would still be all right.
Yeah.
The moment somebody feels like they're in your life and they're making your life better, or your life is only this way because they're there, then they don't want to be around you anyway. It's some weird primal thing. I ain't sure.
Yeah.
But if you fuck with yourself, no matter what's going on, people will always. It's like some kind of fucking weird phenomenon.
Yeah.
People don't leave.
It's I heard somebody say this one time. I think it was 19 Key said this. He was like, the sun, like if you were like had that sun type of energy, like you giving off light to other people, they gonna always want to stick around. Because when they're not around you, they in darkness. You feel me? Like, and that's it's a crazy. When I heard him say it, I'm like, damn, like that makes a lot of sense. You know what I'm saying? For a lot of people, like this, like the same thing, that superhero, saving everybody, and it's like,
yeah, because that I don't know if I want to continue being. Like I want to be around other sons.
yeah, you want to be able to give off
like I just want to, like I'm booming, you booming, we booming, like, but like all of this giving out light,
it's draining of your energy, man.
Because you feel like you would only get, like if somebody walked up to you and told you, "Hey, I ain't taking your advice. I'm gonna take your help, but I ain't doing it. I'm gonna be exactly where I'm at." You wouldn't give them the help.
Yeah,
you only get it to them in the hope or the thought, like they're like you. They'll take the light you give, and then come back up and pick up. But then when you realize a lot of people are where they are based on that's where they want to be. They don't want to. It's too hard to come up out that hole, so I'm just gonna stay where I'm at. You wouldn't help them.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of the darkness of trying to be that superhero is doing it for the wrong people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You gotta learn who like to be where they at, and if you don't like where they at, move away from them.
Yeah.
You know, because I feel like almost like a black hole. No matter, but even the sun could get sucked up.
Yeah.
By that. Yeah. By that, if that's what they want to be.
Yeah. That's a fact. That's a fact. I got one more question. I'm sure that's the best way to ask it. In your journey, what has been the most challenging belief or mindset to overcome? And what like steps did you take to like overcome that? Like something that you grew up with as a kid and you like, man, this is what it is. And then as you grow older, you realize that's not what it is.
I think my identity always derived growing up as a kid from being like that most solid person. For like, like I would know how to do something for you. I would see the problem before it was a problem for you, even for you.
Yeah.
And I would help you fix it, or basically trying to be a parent to everybody.
Yeah.
From a young age. I kind of like took that job on as a kid. Because I would see my mom. There's certain gaps that she can't get to everything.
Yeah.
And you want to. A man always wants to care for his mother, so like you want to pick up how to be a man and how to do all these things. But that took a long time to learn. And I'm this is still like a new thing. Is like, who am I when I'm not that guy for everybody? Like, who am I when I'm that guy like for myself?
Yeah.
What does that look like? I mean, and I'm still working on that now. Where like maybe from a kid, being that I knew I was a bit different, I had to make like solidify my place in my social group. Like you be just solid, like a solid person. And I mean, I truly in my heart like to be that way.
Yeah.
But like only for the people who also are like that. You know what I mean? But it would just be like, if I'm this solid, can nobody ever say my name was
You ain't
fucked up.
solid. Yeah.
Yeah, that was like my claim. Like in my mind, I'm like, ain't nobody gonna be able to call on my name and say I didn't do this, I didn't do
Yeah.
that. But as I get older, it's just like there's certain people that would call in your name and say something crazy. You don't like them like fuck them anyway. They're not
Yeah.
really in your life, like, and you
Yeah.
don't care. So like the people that know me, that I wouldn't have to worry about them like believing some bullshit.
Yeah.
The people that don't know me like that, and then they allow themselves to take in whatever thoughts they have somebody said about me, and if they rock with that, I don't give a fuck. So like I just had to learn how to be okay with that.
Yeah.
Like my name ain't gonna be good to everybody, but my name is good to people that it matters to be good. That's it. Like I don't care as much about pissing people off by saying no or whatever the case may be. It just I'm more at peace with kind of what I can get done in a day is what I call it. Like do for the people that do for you, like in your ecosystem that you want to be in. And if it don't make sense to the people that don't need to make sense to,
Yeah.
it's cool.
Fuck it.
Fuck it. Go to bed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I used to like go so hard to try and make it make sense for everybody. Like, why don't they get it like this and that? They never was gonna get it.
Yeah.
That's stupid. It's just like they always gonna be on a different radio station than what you want. Like that's all right. Stay away from the people.
They're on a different frequency, man.
Yeah.
Shit, that's the fact, bro. Because for me, I think it's so hard to like gauge what other you take so much time thinking of what other people think. Because you trying to be so solid with them, and it's like, oh, I just hope you get that in return. And a lot of times we don't never get that in return. And then by the end of the day, you might look at it, be like, when they do say something, or oh, you didn't look out for me this time, you were thinking like, damn. All the other times I did
But
X, Y, and Z
that's
for you, it's
normal.
like,
Yeah, that's normal. Most humans don't see the 17 times you did good. It's the one time you did bad.
yeah,
That's also coming from like a certain level of self awareness. Like the making things make sense.
yeah,
To a person with a very shallow sense of self and self awareness, some shit that is really basic to you, they'll never get it.
yeah,
Like this shit's gonna keep going over their fucking head. So like y'all always gonna have this clash because why did you do that?
yeah,
Like how did you not see that? You don't remember the times I did this and this, and it's never gonna make sense.
yeah,
And I spent way too much time, like years of my life trying to do that, to like twist it and shove it down and dumb it down and get it to them to where they got it. And then if they got it, they'd be like, oh man, he was right.
yeah,
No, some people are who they are. Let it go. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Like I just woke up one day, I was like, well, this is just tiring trying to like, trying to like keep forming this shit for people. Like
yeah,
when I already got people around me that understand me and get it, and they don't take. It's kind of like an energy take and give thing.
yeah,
Me and you can hang out all day, and I don't feel tired
yeah,
after we done. We may not have been talking the whole time, which we understand is cool inherently. We ain't gotta be
yeah,
chit chatting the whole time. Some people come around you and they supposedly your friends, and bro, you be worried like I gotta go to bed after they,
yeah.
because they just
Suck that
yeah,
everything out of you.
because they don't care who you are and how you are. They just care
Yeah,
about what they came here to get what they want,
yeah,
and then they will suck it out of you and then leave. So no, I try to guard my. Now, hey, I ain't real with this yoga energy and feeling shit, but like the energy part is real.
yeah,
Like I like to be around me that either it's a neutral feeling when you leave, or like I feel boosted. You know what I mean? And I didn't take from them.
yeah,
You know, like that studying people thing when I was a kid really gave me a sixth sense to like read the room. So like I appreciate other people who are observant like that. Because if you observe, you would know.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like a lot of shit doesn't have to be explained. Like a lot of people who like to talk too much, it's like, bro, if you just paid attention, that would
yeah,
all have explained itself.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Because now I get this thing now where our generation, we like to talk a lot. A lot of people don't be saying anything.
yeah,
Like the sentences be empty. Like they don't, you know. And then they wonder why they got into this situation, that situation. And in my mind, I can quickly stretch that out, fucking, wide
yeah,
angle that thing, and just like, bro, you right here is
yeah.
where you made that when you called that girl, where you shouldn't have did that, and you went over there, and then here, and then where you
Yeah,
at.
I like to observe way more than I like to talk. Like most people might be like, "Oh, he's quiet." Like I'll be in the corner of the room watching, peeping everything that's going on.
Yeah.
Who having an argument over here? Who's doing shit over here?
Exactly.
Who's, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the place I've always been. And it's like, man, I don't know how to not do that.
So I think those people win, bro. Like if you spend so much time talking, you ain't taking in.
Yeah.
So you don't know where to move. Like you can only move when you study.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, he gonna go this way. Even if you're fighting, you're boxing. If you study how that person fights, when you go to boxing, you're gonna know he always move like this before you hit with his left, and then KO him with the right. But if you spend so much time, oh, I'm the man, I'm this and that, not watching no videos, and he hits you with that left, you ain't see that shit, you gonna get knocked the fuck
That's
out.
a fact. Everybody can talk shit.
You ain't even see that step, and then you know what I'm saying. A good boxer would have known. He stepped with the back. I do like this, and then rock your shit. You know what I mean? Like
you gotta study the tape. You gotta study the film. You
exactly.
gotta know people's movements. Know how they what to look out for and what not. You know, be like. I know anybody that do anything to me. I know I already knew that shit was coming.
Yeah. don't play yourself. Don't lie.
It's like, bro, like it's only a matter of time.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna just let this shit play out cool. Like I already know how to navigate through that shit. You know what I'm saying? Be like, oh, why you just because I already seen the play, so it don't even bother me as much because I already seen the play. Like,
and you know, you know how you're gonna get out of it. You know what it's gonna cost you.
Yeah.
But sometimes you let it ride just to keep your game sharp.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man. We're gonna get into the fast rounds. I'm gonna ask you a couple cards, and I'm gonna ask you a couple other mindfulness questions.
Right.
Supra or Nissan GTR?
GTR, probably.
Camaro or Mustang?
Mustang.
I know that's like a big thing with the Chevys and the Fords.
But I appreciate both of them. I appreciate both of them. But
that's why I fuck with you, because you have a wide variety of reasons why you like different cars. Most people just latch on to one thing. They'll latch on to
I would have both. Like if I had the warehouse, it would have Camaro, certain model Camaros and certain Mustangs. But if I had to choose first,
the Mustang. Okay.
I'm a Ford guy.
BMW or Mercedes?
You can't ask that question because they're two different ethos between the cars. One is luxury first and sport second. One is sport first, luxury second.
Which one is which?
BMW is sport first, luxury second. Okay. Mercedes is the opposite. So depending on what I want out of a car, that's why I would choose Mercedes or BMW.
Motherfuckers won't even think about that shit, bro. Like
that's just the design like ethics behind the car. You know what I mean? Like so, certain situations, the Mercedes ain't gonna fit what the BMW gonna do. If I go to the mountains, the Mercedes not gonna do what the BMW will.
Yeah.
If I'm going to the city with my girl, you know what I mean, and cruise through the city, like the Mercedes gonna do that by better.
Gotcha.
You know, or a long road trip or something like that at 100+ miles an hour, the Mercedes gonna do that.
Most people like myself would just be like, they both luxury. You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah, like they're in how they design the cars and what they
one is more important than the other.
Yes,
luxury is more. Okay,
yeah,
I got you. Mm-hmm. Porsche or Audi? Is that the same scenario with those two?
Yeah, that's even further than that. The only thing that connects them two is that they're owned by the same company, like VW, Audi Group. But there's really not much. Well, nowadays, yes, because you got like the big Audis, SUVs, and the Porsches and stuff like that. Yeah. Which I don't really get in too much of the new stuff because that really don't do much for me. But I can't say I would choose one or the other unless you're talking about new cars. Because old cars,
talking about your preference, what you want.
I would always choose, but my choice in Porsche is the 911, which is a sports car.
Yeah.
That my choice in Audis is fast sedan cars, which is those are two separate, like welterweight and heavyweight. They're two separate things. They don't do the same things for me.
Yeah.
So I can't choose an Audi. There's times where I like to get into 911. There's times where I like to get into S4.
See, that's a real car. That's a real car guy. A lot of y'all be faking it. This man is very, very detailed with every aspect of the car. Like, oh, I want this for that for this.
Because they all, yes, they all get us from point A to point B.
Yeah.
But there's a different man. And I hate to bring this back to it's like sex or dancing type shit. Like, everybody done been there.
Yeah.
Man or woman, one dude gonna do that to you like that. The other one, his equipment different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like certain times you gonna want certain actions. It's the exact same way with a car. Okay. You may be happy with one car because just like you may be happy with getting sex from this. This is good enough. Like if I had to have one car, I'm a rock with this.
Yeah.
But you know how it is. You still look back on the different ways, different times, different whatever. You know, things is different.
I don't know why.
yeah. You may not want that all the time. That's a car that's sitting in the shop in the corner, like on the. But once a month, I might be like, all right, time for that. You know what I mean? That's the difference. But I can't take that and go pick up 6 kids and go to soccer practice. That car ain't built for that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So like, true. So, you got as a man, you got to have a couple different things.
You gotta have a truck.
You gotta have a truck. You gotta have a.
I don't even say an SUV, but a truck, at least a 2-door coupe, and maybe a sedan.
Yes, you have to. Yeah,
that's me. Three things.
No, you gotta have a pickup truck. You gotta have an inconvenient sports car, and you gotta have like a middle ground.
Yeah,
and
then you might have a race car. You take that shit to the track.
Like, do your thing. But yeah, no. If it was up to me, there would be. I can't even count. It'd just be a couple warehouses in undisclosed locations with just cars.
What about Ferrari and Lamborghini? That would be my next one. Ferrari, Lambo.
I would do Ferrari because of more so what it stands for, like the racing history.
Yeah.
Ferraris came from racing first. Lamborghini was just, and that's not to discount the engineering and how exciting Lamborghinis are, but they come from an anger at Ferrari.
It seems like way. I don't. It seems that way, bro. Like, but just looking at the cars, it seems more aggressive. Like a Ferrari just look like it's just mad pretty. It's like, you know what I'm saying. A Lambo just look like, bro, I'm here to just fuck shit up. Like,
but the whole that's how Lamborghini started. Was Ferruccio Lamborghini used to work for Ferrari.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah, and then altercation between them two led to him. Because he used to build for Lamborghini, he used to build tractors.
Yeah.
So then him telling Lamborghini, you should just go build tractors. Like, don't stop trying to build a car. Like, you don't know what you're doing. So that's what turned into Lamborghini. That's what turned into Lamborghini. Yeah. So like, to me, it doesn't really Lamborghini doesn't have the like kind of the data and development that to build a certain it's sensational, but it's not. It doesn't derive from race history. And like you say, it's not like a pretty. It's sensational, but it's not like pretty. A Ferrari is just a very smooth, pretty thing. And I always prefer something to say something without really saying it than to just be all out with it. That's
because to me, I feel like a Lambo is more colors. Like you gotta have a bright ass green color, so yellow or some shit. Like a Ferrari is like it's like I don't know, something just different about the way it just. It's like, I don't want to sound like I'm describing a woman, but it just curves different.
I mean, it is though. It is. It's like that. I mean, and even in a man, like would you might see a dude pull up in a certain, he might jump out in this. You could tell the suit tailored crazy. That might be a fucking $5,000 suit, but he ain't really moving
the same way.
That way. But then you got that guy that got that JC Penney joint on, but you know what I'm saying, and he all in the colors out, popping bottles and shit with the Invicta on or whatever. You know what I mean? Like he trying to show something that he isn't. This guy will let you see just by being calm.
Yeah,
he got the petite on his arm for $30,000 watch or some shit like that. Yeah, that's the same thing with Ferrari. If you didn't really wasn't a car person, I could be pumping gas right next to you. You wouldn't know. But the people that see it and know it, like they know. That's why I prefer Ferrari.
Got you.
Right. But I will own one of them two Lamborghinis. Hey, I will say when it comes to a car, the answer is always both. I'm not discounting shit.
I feel you, man. Last one with the cars is old school or new school? I already know your answer. You said old school earlier.
Yeah, so the newest car I've ever owned is like 2008. And I think I stated because that was before it took away like the driver input to making the car do something.
Yeah.
So now any kid who don't play sim racing on the video game can buy a brand new M3 or M240i or whatever, and go and do something. Back in the day, like if you pulled a move in a certain car, you had to have skill to do it. Or if you know what I'm saying, if you crashed, you crashed. Like there was just, now you got so many things saving you. Yeah. And then now it comes from not about like, there used to be a journey to making a car fast. Because one, you didn't have no money. Two, you didn't have much knowledge. And you couldn't just go see on Instagram how somebody else did that car.
Yeah.
So you had to go through this trial and error making the car fast. So it made you a better driver because you did it in increment steps.
Yeah.
Now you could just go buy a fucking Hellcat. So like you went from a 4 Taurus to that shit, and that's why you see so many people crashing these shit.
Donuts in that motherfucker.
And boom into a curb. You know what I mean? Because you have to step that shit up.
Yeah.
Because anything that could go wrong in the car, it's a life threatening event.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like I wouldn't myself at 15 want to jump into a Hellcat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That would have probably ended terrible. I almost died plenty of times in 200 horsepower cars. Not imagine a 700 horsepower car. You know what I mean? So like they don't build that driver knowledge up until they're two. And still, like I said, I like the dance you could do in an old car versus the dance you can do in a new car.
Yeah.
My mom can get in the fucking Hellcat and drive this shit. So it don't really show who you are as a driver. It's a new car. It's like saying the motorcycle is quick.
Yeah.
Cool. And getting this old shit box or like an old Porsche or something like that, which is very difficult to drive and drive that fast.
Yeah.
Then I would have more respect. Even that's why I don't even watch new racing now, like new F1 and all the newer stuff. The newer race leagues and stuff that are out, because you can't even tell on camera the difference in drivers. Like if you watch racing from the 80s or something like that, you can tell the different styles and personalities of the drivers on track. Like I could tell by how he took this corner or how that car sounded, or everybody had different methods that you could see it. How they're different ways of tackling driving the car. You can't see that anymore.
Got you.
So I always prefer the old stuff.
Okay. All right. These are more mindful questions. Discipline or flexibility?
Discipline allows you to be flexible.
That's a good answer. Okay. Constant happiness or constant growth?
Constant growth.
Spontaneous or strategic?
Strategic.
Financial freedom or creative freedom?
Financial freedom leads to creative freedom.
Innovation or tradition?
Tradition.
Legacy or currency?
Legacy. You said legacy or currency?
Yeah.
Legacy.
Inner peace or social influence?
Inner peace for sure.
Yeah, I figured that much. I figured that much.
Yeah, bro. I care nothing about that, bro. I need that peace.
You know what I'm saying? We need that peace. Bro. Yeah. I'm doing this, to have some type of social influence. But at the end of the day, it's fuck everybody for me.
I don't think that. I don't think that, because you have a desire in your heart to give information to people to help them through life, which is a help thing. It ain't fuck them.
It is, but it's still fuck them.
I mean, if it gotta be, yeah. But I'm just saying,
because I'm gonna put that out. If you want to take it, cool. If you want to sit there and argue with me in the comments, it's like, bro, I don't.
Yeah, but that's what I said from earlier. Don't bother with people who don't get what you say.
Yeah.
But you still have the desire to bring peace to other people. Like when you learn something, you want to bring that to other people so they can have an easier time than they have right now.
Yeah, of course.
That's a desire. Yeah, everybody got that desire.
True.
That's in you to do that. So you gotta.
But the inner peace trumps everything.
Not true. I mean, but the inner peace will come from not dealing with people who ain't listening to your message.
The inner peace would be to be by the beach somewhere and not fucking with nobody.
That shit gonna be cool for a week, and then you're gonna go back to do it. That sounds cool, but you still the type of person who still want to be moving on and up or whatever.
Because I'm an air sign, so I need people to be able to, like, you know what I'm saying, get a sense of flow and have some type of direction. But it's not at the same time. It's like I'd rather be at peace with myself and at war with the world. Like, so the social influence could be war. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I'd rather have peace knowing that I'm going to war with these motherfuckers because whatever. You know what I'm saying? The ones that want to take the information are the ones that don't.
I don't care to have that war. I don't give a fuck. Like if you fuck with it, cool.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. But I'd rather be, if you feel like me coming on here and talking, and you might not like that. That's for you to deal with. That ain't for me to deal with.
Yeah, so there's no work because I wouldn't even, I'm not even paying attention. That ain't got nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
How you feel about what I'm doing because I ain't talking to you. So you know what I mean? It literally doesn't matter. I would scroll right past that shit, bro. Like you upset for whatever reason,
Yeah.
you ain't here yet to take the information I'm saying.
Keep it going.
Yeah, one day I might. It might be next week. It might be next month, next year. I'm gonna keep making these videos and sharing my perspective, and then maybe one day you'll be in the place. Because I hope other people share stuff like this too, because we will find them, and that will help us.
Yeah.
So like I can never let somebody who don't fuck with me right now stop me from doing it, because then I might miss out on somebody who needed to find me.
Exactly. Shit, man, I appreciate you for being here, bro.
You know, it's all love. For years, but you know my bro.
Yeah, man. We've been through.
Woo, boy.
We've been through some shit, man.
Yep.
Life, you know, life be lifing. And to be able to have somebody you could call and be like, bro, this is what I'm going through. What do you think? Or, you know, vice versa. Like,
come get me, nigga. I need you to pull up.
It's we need that, man. I pray that everybody finds some real people, not just anybody.
Not real,
but real people in your corner. Like,
I think that'll probably be the key to success is having a crew around you of people who really care about you.
Yeah.
Like there's been times where you told me some shit that, bro, I really don't want to hit. Like, you know what I mean? Like it would, I could easily be angry with this or dead our friendship over this. But I would know that you only telling me that because you see that that's a problem that I need to fix. That you know, trying to save me, and I appreciate that. Like that's a real friend. It ain't about just kicking it, drinking, doing whatever the fuck. Is you being able to tell me, yo, you fucking up right now. You need to tighten that shit up. Like I need to have that around me, and I need to be able to get that to people too, and they don't take that in a certain way. Like having the level of friendship we have is rare, but that's what's going to contribute to our success. You know,
I think that shit is like a filter too, because if you can't take me telling you something, and I can't take you telling me something, that doesn't mean we ain't gonna be friends, bro. That's just how I look at it. It's like a filter for the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? If I could call you and be like, yo, XYZ, like, and you'd be like, man, that shit is nah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I can't take that and be a man about it and be like, all right, I hear what he's saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me try to fix that. Like, what are we like? We supposed to be better each other, nigga, in whatever department that is.
We don't have to.
We don't. In this circumstance, we really don't have to.
But that's the one. That's the desire is to be better. Yeah. We don't have to do shit.
So I get information. I'll be like, man, this is what I learned this week, bro. Mm-hmm. Try this shit with your tone company. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, yep. And same thing with you. Like, it's never a contentious thing. Like most people can be competing and shit. Like, I ain't got time to compete with nobody. Bro, it's bad enough competing with myself and trying to make myself better every day. I ain't got time to do go out in the world and compete. So
we two different people. It's not possible to compete. We wouldn't, even if we're doing the same things, we would do it in a different way.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But you still need somebody there to shine. On your dark spots and vice versa. Yeah. And that's what we always had, like with no like animosity and no like why you say that or how you do or I see you getting this or you getting a house, you getting married. I'm like, oh no, why you fuck that? You know what I mean? Like it's never that. It's always love because I know if you go in there, you're gonna tell me about it. I could go there, and vice versa. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or you gonna tell me about it? Well, we always going up.
We be living vicariously through each other,
like that. You know what I'm saying? Tell me how to marry like go. I'm gonna tell you how it is over here.
Like, hey, that's what it's about. Yeah, man. But yeah, this is another episode of the Share Perspective podcast. My boy Dean. If you want to tell them your social handles, if you want them to follow you, if you don't, hey.
I mean, on IG, follow me at Oso. Don't follow me on Facebook. I don't post it there anyway. Yeah. So. And if you see on IG, it's just gonna be car stuff anyway.
Yeah, my boy loves his cars. Man.
That's it. I can't show show the life too much.
Cars and women.
You ain't gonna see no women there, bro. Can't tell everybody everything. They think they got it.
I feel you, man. Maybe they're gonna start arguing in the comments. You can't have that.
Well, like on social, they say if you didn't post it, did it happen? So
Hey,
Like a lot of shit ain't happening.
we saw that car. That's all you gotta know.
Leave it like that. I'm cool with that.
Hey,
I'm
I
cool
feel
with
you,
that.
man. But shit, man. Thank you all for being here, man.
I appreciate you having me on, man.
Yes, sir.
Let's get it.